President Biden spent his weekend in India and Vietnam pitching the United States as an alternative trade partner to China. So far this year, U.S. imports from China have been substantially lower compared to 2022. The fragile relationship only got worse after a Chinese spy balloon was spotted flying across the United States back in January. But the president insists he doesn't want to cut off Beijing from the rest of the world.
I don't want to contain China. I just want to make sure we have a relationship with China that is on the up and up, squared away. Everybody knows what it's all about.
Let's bring in Adam Posen. He's president of the Peterson Institute for International Economics. So, Adam, what does easing the trade relations with China look like, given that things are pretty tense between the two countries?
John, there's a lot of things that can be done in areas that are win-win without compromising on the security front or the human rights front. There are real issues between the U.S. and China, but there are tariffs that U.S. has on China and tariffs China's put on in retaliation to the U.S., which just make it harder for consumers to choose. There's also, as you indicated, an international aspect about not making other countries have to choose between U.S. and China, making them want to choose the U.S. Again, there are specific exceptions like high-tech semiconductors, but that doesn't need to drive the whole relationship in economics.
After the U.S. Commerce Secretary Raimondo went to China and talked about how China was uninvestable for some U.S. companies, around about that time, there were reports that China may have banned government employees from using the iPhone. Could that have been a kind of response to Raimondo? What do you make of that report that that's happened?
I think it was something that was coming for a while. It's still mostly symbolic and not very meaningful. But when you think about the U.S. and our military allies banned Huawei phones because we said they were a security threat. We've talked about banning TikTok because it's a security threat. And so for the Chinese to say, well, you ban ours, we'll ban yours, is not a surprise. It may well be that the Chinese security apparatus actually uses Huawei phones to get at people in a way that Apple does not, but nobody should be surprised that that's what's going on.
If Apple, which has significant interests in China and an enormous consumer base in China and has worked very hard to keep that relationship good, if Apple is in danger of these kinds of moves, what does that say for other U.S. companies seeking to do business in China and the fragility of that relationship?
Well, it's not good, but it's kind of the bed they've made. Most American companies used to stand up for the economic relations with China. Starting around 2015, 2016, the large U.S. industrial organizations, most of the multinationals, started backing off. They didn't stand up when Trump or Biden or people in Congress said we got to disengage from China. Even when people have spoken out, they haven't spoken publicly about that. And that's fine. That's a choice they can make. But once they're making that choice, then that's the reality. They don't get to then say, oh, my God, this is costing me money. Just one further point on that, John. You know, the U.S. and China have benefited from each other economically, despite all the talk otherwise. And if there is genuine geopolitical tension, which there seems to be, the reality is we're all going to lose money. Some of it's going to come in the form of particular American brands like Apple not doing well in China. And some of it's going to come by building redundant facilities so people don't feel dependent on China solely. And some of it's going to come mostly for the consumer. But that's the reality. If you have hostilities, you don't get as much trade.
Adam Posen, thank you so much for being with us from the Peterson Institute. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, John.